Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Sunday, and that means we talk with my friend Dan Bird. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So I'm just curious, what's been going on this week? The market's been kind of interesting. Monday's a holiday. Anything interesting happened last week?
Hey, that we are guaranteed not to lose money Monday
Awesome. Nobody's losing money. Well, in the stock market, I think crypto
in the
still
stock
trades.
market. Futures might still be open. Actually,
Yeah,
I think futures are closed too.
yeah, just crypto. I think you can still lose money in crypto.
Crypto, you can always lose money in crypto.
Yep, 24/7.
Right.
That's funny.
That never changes.
Never changes.
But interestingly, I mean, we'll just have a conversation in this session, and then we can talk. I can show you some things, some empirical evidence about the market in the next session. But
Okay.
I talked to you a little bit about this last week, but I became a reluctant real estate investor this week.
Oh, wow. So last week, if I remember the story right, basically your son was a tenant and his landlord is like, hey, prices are good. Done being a landlord. I want to sell the place. That's kind of what I remember.
That's exactly right.
Okay. All right.
Especially in Southwest Florida. They live in Cape Coral. Cape Coral is one of the fastest growing areas of the country.
Wow.
The landlord lives in Canada.
Oh.
And
Okay.
so he's like, I want to sell. This is a good time to sell. I'm going to sell. You guys have till the end of April to get out.
All right. So we gave him 60-day notice, I guess.
Well, that was the end of their lease.
Okay. So basically, hey, I'm gonna at the end of the lease, time to go.
Not going to renew.
Not going to renew. Makes sense. Okay.
Right. So now it's time to go. Now the rents have gone up along with the prices of houses.
Sure.
Right.
Uh-huh.
To the point where it becomes unaffordable. I don't know what the rules are elsewhere, but here in Southwest Florida, to rent something, you need to have 3x rental.
3.5. Every land. Well, I don't know what they are. I think I'm 3.5x, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So here it's 3x. So if the rent is $2,000, and that's an average rent for a house here, $2,000 a month, then they need $6,000 or $72,000 a year.
Wow. Combined
to rent,
in this case.
to rent a place.
Wow. All right.
They don't have that. So they can't find a rental. On top of that, if they do try to rent something, if they try to rent a house, for instance, it's $60 for the application.
Sure.
Just to rent the house.
Wow.
So if there's, and all of them have waiting lists. So if they want to get on 10 waiting lists, right, that's $600.
Sheesh.
All but one of those they may not get back, and they may not get any of it back. Right. That's just the application fee.
Right.
So, and then we went to apartment buildings to see maybe we could just get them an apartment building or an apartment
unit. Yep.
Apartment unit. And the apartments basically laughed at us.
Oh, no.
They said, oh, no. We closed our waiting list.
Wow. They're not even taking any more waiting
Even if we had a waiting list, it would be October before there would be any openings. Wow. But we have so many people on our waiting list, we just closed it. So we're not even taking names anymore. So you can't even get on a waiting list.
Wow. So again, South Florida, what was it again? Cape Coral?
Cape Coral.
So how long have they rented the house?
It's been about 2 years now, I want to say.
All right. So 2 years, the landlords, hey, it's a good time to get out. Your son wanted to keep renting, but you need to find another place. Don't have the income to qualify for new rental rates because rental rates are up. Then you go to apartments and they say, not only are we can't take an app, but we've closed our waiting list.
Right.
All right. Well, now I remember our conversation last week. You were potentially going to reach out to the owner and say, can we work something out?
Yeah, we tried that. He really didn't want to give us much information. Like you said, you normally rent to your tenants because they usually can't afford it.
Yeah, don't do
the case here, but they told him, my parents might want to buy it. But he really wasn't forthcoming. We're not sure if he wants to sell it or if he just wants to jack the rents up considerably higher.
Ah, okay.
So we're not quite sure what his ultimate goal is. Now they have 4 kids. So we're talking about not just my son and his wife, but 4 kids potentially out on the street. Or even worse, moving in with us.
Yeah, because let's be honest, they're not going on the street. Worst case, they're coming to you.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So any way I could avoid that, I would.
Yeah. What are the ages of the grandchildren?
The youngest one is 18 months
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
the oldest is 15.
Yeah, that would be yeah. Okay.
And
All right,
then there's,
so you're motivated to help them.
we are highly motivated. Yeah, highly motivated.
That's awesome. Okay.
So it's probably not the best time right now to buy a house. You know, we might be close to the top of the market.
That's a reasonable assumption. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
But I really don't have any choice.
Okay.
So let me talk about the journey that we've had in trying to buy a house.
This is in 7 days because again, we spoke last Sunday. So
this is it's been about 10 days since they were notified.
okay. So
So
all right.
So first we try to find rentals, then we try to find an apartment, right? That took us till a week ago today,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
So Monday we decided we're gonna have to buy a house,
Okay.
even if we don't want to. So that's why I said reluctant real estate investor.
Yeah.
So we looked on Monday, we found, and there were some houses available.
Okay.
We found one that was very nice.
Okay.
We gave them a list price offer
Yeah.
and wrote in that I would waive the inspection.
Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So list
Yeah.
price, waive the inspection. They had 15 offers.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, it is kind of funny, but that's the state we're in right now. That's why I wanted to have this conversation, because it might help some of your viewers as well.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Understand what's going on. But so 15 offers. They said we were in the running, so we were probably one of the finalists because it was
Okay.
full price. We gave them full price
Yep.
and waived the inspection.
Yep. Okay.
And I can do a lot of work. I've renovated houses, and I can do a lot of that stuff. So I'm not afraid of that kind of thing.
Yep.
So that's why I waived the inspection. So they came back and said now they accepted a different offer.
Mm.
So we're like, okay. So that's Monday. We found the house, put the offer, got rejected.
Okay.
On Tuesday, we got rejected. On Wednesday, we went back and looked at a whole bunch more houses. Now, most of these houses that we look at have come on the market the day before, or
Yep.
may have been on for 6 or 7 hours,
Right. Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So went out, looked at some more, found another one, not quite as nice as the first one, but actually, you know, it probably is better because it's on a quieter street
Mm.
with their kids and everything.
Sure.
So found that one. This one was listed at 320,
Okay.
but it needed a new roof.
Okay.
All right. And in Florida, getting insurance on an old roof is very difficult
Yeah.
because of hurricanes.
No joy. Yeah.
Right. Nearly impossible, actually. So they said, look, 320, but we'll give you a $6,000 credit on the roof. We have a quote for the roof for 12,000.
Okay.
We'll cover half. So I put an offer in at 318
Okay.
and waived the roof credit.
Oh, all right. So net to them 4K ahead. Okay.
That's right. Exactly.
All right.
And late that night, we got a call saying they accepted the offer.
Oh, okay.
Now they had another offer that was full price, but with the 6,000.
Right.
credit.
So they were
They actually had 10 offers, by the
Wow.
way. They had 10 offers on this.
Okay.
Remember, 7 hours on the market, they had 10 offers.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, they accepted ours. We were expecting to have to go again Friday. So basically it's an every other day thing.
Sure.
We look at a house, we put in an offer. The next day we wait to see if we are accepted.
Yep.
If we get rejected, then the next day we go out, look at houses, put in an offer. Next day we wait to be rejected. Right. So
Now there's one thing we haven't said, and I don't know the answer to this, so I'll ask. Were you putting these in as cash offers, or were you saying you're getting a 30-year loan?
30-year loan.
Okay. All right.
I told the realtor I could do cash,
Right.
but I would prefer to get
Yeah.
it without doing that.
Sure.
If
Of
I
course.
could. 20% down.
That makes sense. Okay.
So 20% down, 30-year loan. I'd be buying it as an investor
All right. Yeah.
because I'll be renting it back to them.
All right, so you may have to put 25% down, but okay. Just
So here's how this worked out. A
Yeah.
couple more things that will be interesting to hear about, I think.
okay.
So the interest rate for an investment loan was 4.75%.
Yeah, I was gonna guess 4.5. Yep, they've gone up a lot in the last 8 weeks.
4.75 with 3 points.
Oh, with 3 points.
Right.
Ouch.
So it's more than
Oh.
4.75.
Yeah, that's
Or I could put 25% down
yeah.
and I could get it for 4.7
Uh-huh.
with 0 points.
Well, that's some pretty easy math.
Yeah. So which would you do?
25% down.
I did 20% down.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So for five,
I didn't want
just so
to.
we're
I didn't
clear-
want to put the extra money up, and I'm going to be
But-
renting it back anyway. So
Well, hold on. So again, I just want to make sure I had the math right. So 5% is all we're talking about here on a 320 house. That's $1,500, $1,700.
no. It's it was
Oh
about,
no, that's
well,
yeah,
it's about
that's-
$15,000
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what. Okay, yeah. 5% of 30 is
ver-
15. Got it,
versus
yeah.
versus about 3,500.
I forgot a zero. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So 15,000 versus 3,500 for the point for the 3
Right,
points.
right. Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Makes
So
sense.
I opted for the 3,500 instead of putting another 15,000 out.
Fair enough. Okay.
And the rent's going to cover the mortgage anyway.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. And you
All
got to
right,
do
so-
a $6,000 or no, a $12,000 roof.
well, so here's the second piece.
Okay.
And the realtor told me this, and I think the homeowner's realtor told them this.
All right.
They said, you're not going to be able to get insurance until you put a new roof on.
Right.
So it's almost a given that you'll need a new roof.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my realtor, how does that work with going to settlement?
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, don't get a contract for a roof until, about a couple of days before settlement, because you never know what's going to happen.
Okay.
They're going to want you to put down a deposit. You don't know what's going to happen.
Makes
Right.
sense. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. He goes, and then you can put a deposit down and then have the roof put on, and the insurance companies usually give you 60 to 90 days
Yeah. Grace period. Yeah.
to get
Okay.
the roof put on. I said,
All right.
okay, that
All
makes
right.
sense.
All right.
Well, I started working with my loan officer, who has many contacts. She was really good. I highly recommend using a really good loan officer. In
Absolutely.
fact, a local loan officer. Don't fall for these, low rates for
Mm.
somebody in,
Yeah.
New York or somewhere else.
Rate chasing. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. Which I got lots of those calls, by the way.
Yeah. As soon as your socials run, it
Yeah.
gets sold. Yep.
That's right. Immediately. I mean, everybody's calling. So she was really good. She got me told me what she needed. It's been approved already. It's been a
Good.
week and it's already
Nice.
approved. All they're waiting for is the appraisal and the inspection.
Okay.
She put me in touch with an insurance person. The insurance person ran it. She goes, well, I have one company
Mm.
that will insure with the original roof.
Mm-hmm.
They need a 4-point inspection, which I'm going to be getting tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the price is $1,164 a year,
Hmm.
which is
Okay.
actually very good for Florida.
Yeah, it's not bad. I would have expected
right.
higher. Yep.
So I actually did find insurance, so I don't have to buy the roof right away.
Okay.
I can wait on it.
Based on the 4-point inspection, though, the 4-point
4-point
inspection could say, "Hey, thou
Could say
shalt."
the roof is shot, and but it's
Then-
not. I've already looked at it. The roof's actually in pretty good shape,
Okay. All right.
so I don't think they'll do that. Plus
All
plus the inspector is the son-in-law of my real estate agent.
Ah, look at that. Very cool. Very cool. All right.
All right, so all these things I'm learning about real estate as a reluctant real estate investor.
So just think about what you said, right? Because this is happening across the country.
Right.
Owners of property who've had them for a while, and certainly if you've owned them for 5 or 6 years, they've seen amazing appreciation.
Yeah.
If they're out of state, or in this case, out of country, a lot of them could go, "Hey, I'm done. I'm gonna sell now. We're at the peak or close to the peak. I'm gonna take my money off the table."
Right.
In addition to that, you highlighted that rents have exploded. So
Right.
where maybe you qualified before, you can't qualify now. Then you talked about
Well, not only that, all of those renters that were renting those houses that landlords are now selling can't qualify for rentals.
exactly
So
where I was
they're the
going.
ones that are getting on the waiting list and having the waiting list shut down because they're moving from the house they were renting to try to get an apartment or another house.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing out there.
That was the next step. So the people that couldn't get a house now down select, lower the standard of living, right? Living in apartments different than living in a house. You can't even go there because there's so many people ahead of you.
Right.
At which point you have to make real sacrifices. And in this case, you could move in with family, which was an option. You could probably get roommates and go, do something else. You could move, or in your case, your son, daughter-in-law, 4 grandchildren are going to have grandpa buy a house and have grandpa be the landlord. I mean, that was, you're very, very lucky to be in that situation, but just think about all the things happening right now about landlords selling their homes that were rental homes for years and decades. And the people that are moving out are finding a really hard time elsewhere. So it's really tough
I don't know.
today.
I frankly don't know where they're going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of homeless people out there soon.
Well, there's a lot already, at least in California, San Francisco, the like. It's affordable housing is a real problem, and we need to be working on it. And affordable housing could be 3D printed homes, could be container homes, could be tiny homes, whatever they are. We need some homes that average folks can afford, because right now builders are only building the really expensive stuff because that's where the margin is.
Right.
We need to figure this out.
And we also need more apartment buildings. I mean, one of the things I learned is there really, at least in Southwest Florida, there really are not very many apartment buildings available. There's lots of houses.
Wow.
But not many apartments.
Yeah, what we've seen the last 2 years is this crisis we've been through has caused an entire shakeup of the country where people want to live. And what we are seeing is like Cape Coral, right?
Yeah.
For the longest time, that was where retirees went.
Yeah.
They weren't interested in living in an apartment. Now, Florida is one of the top places to live, at least based on migration. And all of this movement has moved into an area that wasn't ready for them. It takes a moment to decide to move to Florida. It takes years to build apartments. And there's just a mismatch of supply and demand. It is all kinds of out of whack. If you happen to own stuff there now, you're sitting pretty, because worst case, you raise rents. I heard in Miami, rents went up 30%.
Yeah, that would not surprise me.
That is,
I know the place that they're renting, which is smaller than the one that we bought, they were renting for $1,400. And for them to find a comparable place now, the rents are about $22,000 to $2,200.
Yeah.
So it's a
tough
80% increase.
Yeah. Well, you are now a reluctant landlord, or soon will be.
I'm going to have to watch more of your YouTube.
It's your son. I'm sure it will work out. This is fun stuff. Well, congratulations. We've known each other a long time. You put yourself in a position that you could do this. Congratulations. Has to feel good. Also, I have to appreciate that 3 weeks ago, you weren't thinking about this. So
no, I was 2 weeks ago. I was not thinking about it at all. And I told Janet, my wife, I said, we've got a lot of money sitting around that we were deciding what to do.
Yeah.
We could have, given it to an investment advisor and let them have it for 10 years or other things that we could have done.
Yeah.
I said, just think of this the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just this is an investment we're making. We have to go into it with the mindset that it's a 10-year investment.
Correct.
At least.
Yeah. And
just look at it in the long term.
Yeah.
It's money that's going to sit there and we won't have access to, but hopefully at some point, even if the housing market doesn't grow, which I don't think it's going to, in 10 years, maybe it might go up a little bit, but it may actually go down. But the rental income is going to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
And the mortgage will be paid down.
Yep.
So at some point, we'll at least break even in 10 years. And our sons don't have to move in.
Yeah, and you do a solid for your son and your grandchildren. Don't forget the grandbabies.
Yeah, and my wife and my mental health.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that was the other option. They were coming home to you.
That's right.
That's so funny. Well, Dan, congratulations. It's really interesting just to see how hot real estate markets are, because I can imagine looking at houses, writing offers, waiting, looking at offers. It's an amazing market right now. So
yeah, and talking to realtors, I mean, they're going crazy. They're like, oh yeah, there'll be 10 offers on this. If
Yeah.
you look at a really nice house, even if it's priced correctly,
Mhm.
not underpriced, but priced at the market, they said you're going to have 30 offers in this house.
Yeah, just be thankful you're not in Southern California. I spoke with one of the #1 agents in Orange County. It's a pretty pricey part of the market. He brought a nothing house onto the market for $850, which was full price, like full value. 22 offers, half cash, winning offer, $1.1 million.
Wow, amazing. The house 2 doors down from us, they decided to sell.
Mhm.
Went on the market the weekend before last.
Mhm.
They had open house on Saturday and Sunday. There was lines of cars in front of it.
Wow.
The house was listed at 1.1 million, and it sold for full price. I think the very first person that went in
Wow.
wrote a contract, 1.1.
There you go.
Which is so they've been there. We've been here for 3 years. They've been there for maybe 5.
Okay.
It doubled in price in 5 years.
There's a lot of money sloshing around in the system right now. That is for sure.
And the offer was a cash offer.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine writing a 7-figure check? I mean, I know nobody writes a 7-figure check. You wire the money, but still, I think my hand would shake.
Well, I have friends that are realtors down here in Naples, and they used to live in Maryland where we live. And when we came down to visit with them, he said, I knew there was a lot of money in Naples, Florida, because I had no idea how much money there is.
Pretty crazy. Well, this has been a fun journey. Thank you for taking me on it. Congratulations on getting a home, because I was a little nervous this story was not going to end positively, but it sounds like it did. So thank you very much.
I mean, we haven't settled yet, so anything could happen. But.
That's true. We'll keep in touch. Thanks.
All right. And next session, we'll talk about the market again, and I'll talk about what's happened this week and where we're headed.
Absolutely. Thanks, buddy.